The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up now using the URL audibletrial.com/TTV to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend Brick by Brick, How LEGO Rewrote the Rules of Innovation and Conquered the Global Toy Industry. You may recognize this as one of the sources we use in our show, Bionicle Autopsy. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/TTV. Enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync. Hey everybody, I'm Kahi.
I'm Venom.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
And welcome to TTV Talks. Oh guys, we're back. I can't remember the last time I was on this show. Probably like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, well,
I
maybe
was
you
on
should
like
get
2 episodes
good.
ago too, I think.
All right.
I was on a bunch of episodes ago. I don't even remember.
I mean, I don't think it's ever been us though, like this crew before.
Nope.
So that's kind of
Wait, we had
cool.
Prpl on TTV Talks before. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, we did. Did we?
We did. We
Dude,
had it
literally,
for...
my first thing I was ever on the channel was TTV Talks.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we remember.
Sorry,
how
I don't
are
remember
you?
you like contributing to all too much aside from maybe drawing.
Yeah,
Well, I
you're
mean-
so unimportant sometimes. We just forget how long you've been here.
Wow, thanks.
Ooh.
I can do stuff. You just got to pay me.
Like what? What do you do in your
Man,
spare
you're
time
like-
anyway?
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Anyway,
come on. There's
how
got to
are
be
you
something.
guys?
What have you been doing lately?
Drawing.
So what you been up to lately? That's right, everybody. Welcome
Yeah, well,
to Talk to
welcome,
Ben.
man.
No.
Dude, I'm just about to go see Batman versus Superman. I'm an hour away from going to see that movie.
That
Literally
movie
right now.
looks bad. The ratings are
It
so
honestly,
bad.
it really does. The ratings are it's like 43% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, and like
wow.
I've never really had a lot of hope for this movie, but I want to go see it because
I've always
you know,
been skeptical since day one. Skepticism.
right.
Yeah, in general, I'm not really into superheroes all that much. So when I heard that there was going to be a Batman versus Superman movie, I was just like, eh.
Well, here's the thing with reviews. Like I feel like reviews, whenever like it gets a percentage of a review on Rotten Tomatoes, the way like I view that is that like there's a percentage that you will like this movie. So like for instance, there's a 43% chance that I will like Batman vs Superman. I could really like it. I could really dislike it, and that's pretty even. And I've seen that online where some people are like, "This is a really good movie," and other people are like, "This was a really terrible movie," you know. And so other games like Fantastic Four has like what 15 on Rotten Tomatoes, which means there's a 15% chance that I might like it. So more than likely, I will not like this movie, but there will be a small amount of people that are like, "Oh, wasn't that bad?" And then like you know, if you have like a really high rated movie, you know, like there's just like a really high chance that you'll like it. So that's how I use the ratings. Not necessarily like how much of a movie is good, but like the percentage of how much you're likely to like the movie in the end. That being said, I'm pretty sure I will dislike Batman v Superman because it doesn't seem to learn from Man of Steel.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My thing has always been, well, when I first heard about it, I was a little bit excited because the way they announced it, they had like the Dark Knight Returns quote.
Oh yeah,
going along with it. I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna try to adapt that into a movie. Huh.
Right.
It makes sense,
right.
you know. Batman. We've gotten like so many Batman movies. Everybody knows who Batman is by now, so I can kind of forgive if they try to introduce him as like a pre-established superhero in the Man of Steel universe. But then they just started adding all this stuff like, hey, so guess what? Wonder Woman's going to be in the movie too. And I was like...
Yeah, that was so out of the blue, too. Like, I was watching the trailer, and then all of a sudden she was there. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, I found
Like,
out about Wonder Woman like a long time before the trailer even came out. And this... Not only did they say that she was going to be in the movie, but they also said like some of the other Justice League members are going to make an appearance in the movie too. And I'm just like... What is happening?
Right.
What is
it seems
this
so
movie?
disjointed. And it feels like they didn't learn from Man of Steel, where like Man of Steel, I've always said that Man of Steel does not get Superman. Man of Steel does not get the Superman character at all. And the thing I'm worried about, because I was excited when I heard, okay, Superman versus Lex Luthor, that's a great relationship. I think that really works if you know how that relationship works. But then they added Batman in it, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Sure, maybe it's a 2 hour. You can have two villains in a movie. We've seen that work in Dark Knight. We've seen that work. And then they're like, oh, Wonder Woman, and then Aquaman, and then Cyborg, and then Doomsday.
Yeah,
and then,
I'm just like,
what?
okay,
Really?
hold up, like at least
That's too many like unique characters. Like if it was just like some side character or a love interest or something, that I might be able to let it slide, but like they're all superheroes or villains or something. It's like
it's all these characters' first appearance on screen. It's like they have like when the Avengers happened and when like Black Widow was in Iron Man 2, that I didn't feel that like that wasn't as huge of there's too much stuff going on. Some people do think that Iron Man 2 has too much stuff going on, admittedly, but like it's not as much as like they didn't cram all the superheroes into one movie, basically. Some people don't even know Aquaman's origin. Some people don't know Wonder Woman's origin.
yeah.
I don't know either.
Some people, I've seen some people try to defend it like, man, everybody knows who Wonder Woman is already. These are like the most famous superheroes. But I'm like, you say that, and yet one of Man of Steel's main criticisms was over Superman's character.
Right, exactly. They just don't get the characters, and it's harder to with DC because, admittedly, what's Wonder Woman's character? I don't freaking know. I don't think anybody really knows because there's not been like Wonder Woman is like some people are like, oh, she's a teacher, she's an ambassador. Other people are like, no, she's a warrior. She's is she like sexist against men? Is she like appealing to all people? Is she like? So they have such a varied view of Wonder Woman, and everyone's trying to do their own take on it. Wonder Woman has no defining character. In fact, there's very few Wonder Woman stories. Like you have big Batman stories and Superman stories, not really a lot of big Wonder Woman stories. Yeah, actually, very few. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna end up seeing the movie tomorrow with a couple of friends, but I don't know. I'm gonna walk into there, and my expectations are gonna be all over the place. I really don't know what exactly I'm gonna be getting myself into with this movie, but at the very least, I'm going in there mostly for Batman because I love Batman. He's my second favorite superhero of all time. Batman. I just want to see him. As long as he's done okay, then I can somewhat like the movie.
Right. Yeah. No,
I have like no interest in watching this movie. I'm probably never gonna see it, but my brother probably will. So
wait, you're not into like any superhero things? Not into like any comic book characters?
Nope.
You haven't.
No.
You haven't watched like the big MCU movies or.
I'm not into DC like at all. It's just not all that appealing to me. I'm more into Marvel, but that's mostly because of like the movies and stuff. Like I've seen most of the movies and they're like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, and like I just started getting into like the TV series too. Like I'm almost done with like Daredevil and I started The Flash too.
Perfect. Perfect. Have you gone to season 2 yet?
I don't think someone was listening when we talked about this episode before the episode. I think somebody wasn't paying attention. It's okay. Yeah. Season 2. That's great.
Have you gone to season 2 yet?
Yeah, I have like only one more episode left.
Oh.
So
I binge watched that like last week.
I like binge watched it over Saturday.
The weekend.
Man.
See, I really like Daredevil
honestly, that show is the realized version of Batman. I would say that's the best live action Batman show is Daredevil.
Because seriously, because it's funny coming off of like Batman v Superman, because the main problem that I can see myself having with the movie, what we were just talking about, having so much stuff going on and all this craziness, like Daredevil is like on the polar opposite end of all that. It takes its time to like expand and open this world and develop its characters.
Yeah, but in a way, it's almost too slow, I guess. Like season 2 isn't really grabbing my attention as much as season 1 did because like the main antagonist is so like elusive that I'm still not entirely sure who it is. Like sometimes it's Castle, sometimes it's like the gangs. It's like, what's the main one? It just keeps like flip-flopping.
Narratively, I do like. I personally speaking, I enjoyed season 2 more than I enjoyed season 1, but I do acknowledge all of the huge flaws the season had, including the fact that because there wasn't, like you said, a unified villain, it feels like there was 2 seasons crammed into one. It feels like there's season 2 part 1 is with the Punisher, season 2 part 2 is with Elektra in the Hand, and they just kind of crammed them together, and they're both working like side by side, but they're not really related in any way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they they really don't tie those together. Like, by the end of the season, I was really hoping that it would tie up all together, but really it's just kind of like, the season literally ends. Like, do you care about spoilers, Prpl? Because I'm about to reveal some spoilers now.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the fans. Okay. There's gonna be spoilers.
Oh yeah, there's spoiler alerts for Daredevil season 2.
Really, the only way the Punisher ends up tying to the Elektra story is that he just shows up at the very end to help Daredevil. Like,
I know, you know what? I was pissed off by that, because throughout the entirety leading up to that, he's carrying this minigun, and I'm like, oh my god. And there's all these ninjas, and like they're like, oh my god, we're gonna die. And I'm like, Punisher. And like, it's like, the Punisher's gonna come, he's gonna have the minigun, he's gonna mow down ninjas, and then they're gonna take out it's gonna be awesome. And he just like snipes like 2 people, and then he's like, goodbye. It was very anticlimactic. And also, like, with Elektra, I felt that in the end she was kind of anticlimactic too. With the moment she and Matt start talking about their relationship, I'm like, oh, she's dead. The moment they're like, all right, listen, who are we? He's like, no, I'll always love you. I'll follow you wherever you go. I'm like, she's dead. She's gonna die right there.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? They did that same thing that Amazing Spider-Man 2 did. And I was like,
no way
she's gonna die, huh? Yeah, she's gonna die.
There's no way they're moving him away from the place. You know, they're not moving him away from New York.
Whole lot of talk.
Yeah, Elektra was weird. She kind of annoyed me like throughout the whole thing, and I was expecting that she'd be like one of those characters where like you hate her at first, but then you grow to like her. But like I still don't like her.
Yeah,
like she's really obnoxious.
I completely understand you. I thought she was really obnoxious too when we first got her.
I don't know if obnoxious is the right word. I think like I don't find her character as annoying as much as I do like I don't like her character, but I don't see her characters as annoying. Does that make sense?
I don't know. She kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, me too. Like she's very like manipulative and stuff. Like I know it's like just like a character trait for her, but
I'm gonna like force you to help me do this kind of stuff. Otherwise, I'm gonna ruin your life. Okay.
I did not like that Daredevil ultimately left Karen for her. That was the whole thing in which that was, you know, he left the actual person who was like standing by him and is kind of smart and doing all that great stuff for him and his law firm. He left that character just to be with this girl who you're like, okay, you should have been, you know, over this girl a long time ago.
Yeah, to be honest, the whole romance thing in Daredevil kind of annoys me because it's like it starts out with Karen and Foggy and it's like, okay, they're cute together, and then all of a sudden that just abruptly stops when you meet Foggy's ex. Yeah, and it's like, what happened there?
I didn't really understand what happened there either.
I've always been a rooter for Karen and Foggy. I don't know why they're not together already.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like they're so cute together.
Yeah, they're like, you know, they're both
they were doing
like
pretty
decent
okay.
people.
But that said, I'm not opposed to Karen X Matt either. I thought they were doing pretty
I thought they were okay too.
Like,
but
seriously, they were okay, but like it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden they're making out in front of his apartment. And it's like, oh, okay.
I'm with Prpl on this one. I feel like the Karen and and Matt's their thing is like Karen's like, oh man, he's hot.
Like a lot closer ever since season 1.
And I guess so. Maybe that's implied.
Because that's what I got from it. It didn't seem so out of nowhere that two people that have gotten to know each other for like how long, they did all this together and blah blah blah, and then.
Well, I mean, it's one thing for two people to know each other, but it's another thing for two people to like romantically get together. You know,
right? Well, listen, how great is it? Regardless of if they should be together or not, how great is it that we can actually talk about Karen and Foggy as interesting characters? Right?
Yeah, I like that. Like, I know Karen is mostly just like a love interest, but she still has like other qualities.
She actually
to her.
does things.
She does stuff. Yeah. Like in a lot of this, her and Foggy do a lot of great stuff by themselves, but on their own. You know, and I like that a lot. I like that we have interesting side characters. I like that we have characters that are like don't need to just rely on Matt to do everything. That they're doing their own thing. That they're getting their own stuff done. I like
that they're independent.
I like Foggy. And I hated him in the comics. Not because he did anything. Just because, like, there's such importance to him given to him in the comics, but he doesn't really do anything noticeable. Like, he does a whole thing where he gets cancer, and it's, like, a huge deal, and Daredevil's going...
He does this whole thing, gets cancer. That's something he does in the comics that's interesting.
No, I'm like... Wow. That's the thing where, like, they have this huge thing where it's like, man, I can't believe Foggy's dying, and I'm kind of like... Foggy's not that interesting of a character. I don't know why everyone's kind of like torn up about it. Like, you're told, man, Foggy's his best friend. He's so important that he's dying. I don't know. I felt like this Foggy, I actually really enjoy seeing on screen.
Yeah, you can't just say, "Oh, this is an interesting character." You have to actually see it happen.
Right. And like, I get why he's so important to Matt, because he's funny, he's smart, he's capable. I was so glad when he got that job from the lawyer from Jessica Jones, Hogarth. At the end there, I was like, yes, you're finally getting your comeuppance. You're finally moving up in the world.
Spoilers, haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, please.
We're avoiding the best part of season 2, hands down.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Listen.
I know.
I have never been a fan of his character before.
Yeah, no, me neither. But
I know people love him.
He's so great.
Stick is actually really cool. I like how his scenes with young.
No,
Electra.
screw Stick. We're talking about freaking
Punisher. All right, here's why I don't like Punisher beforehand. All right, this is Punisher. Punisher is every hero in every action movie ever. Just like he's just generic. All right, listen.
Yeah, like you killed my family. Now I'm gonna go after
Now he's
everybody.
Gonna kill them. Jean-Claude Van Damme is the Punisher, coming summer 1985 or whatever. It's just like that's it. Like the mob kills his family. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill everybody that's ever been a criminal ever, and he just shoots a bunch of people.
He's like John Wick translated into comics, really.
He really is. But, like, without the whole, like, I feel like John Wick's big strength is that everybody knows John Wick. And that was kind of cool to see when people were like, oh no, John Wick's here? Oh crap, I'm getting out of here. I'm not, like...
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Those moments were really cool. And, like, I don't think the Punisher necessarily has those. But the Punisher really, like, especially in the show, even in the movies I've seen, he's just been generic action hero. This show makes him one of the most interesting, compelling characters in the show right now. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing every scene.
I love the Punisher. I think the Punisher's my favorite part about season 2.
Yeah.
Completely.
Well, he is interesting in the show, but I can't really put it into words because all he does is go around killing people. It's like he's such a basic character, but like it's portrayed in such a way where you're like interested in him.
That's
exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
Because usually you see that anywhere else. You see the Punisher just going around killing people anywhere else, like in the movies.
Right.
No, it just doesn't work because they don't make Punisher an interesting enough character.
And the thing
but here,
the Punisher,
he's totally interesting.
I get,
but like why is he interesting? That's
because they're contrasting him with Daredevil. The Punisher works best, and this is why all the movies have kind of failed in that regard, is because they are just generic action movies when you really get down to it. The only real difference between the Punisher and another action hero is that the Punisher has painted a skull on his chest. That's basically it. He's not even really a superhero. He's just like a generic person. The way the Punisher works in this show is because he's a contrast to Daredevil. And you see that throughout everything that he does is contrast to Daredevil. All his monologues are a contrast to Daredevil. His fighting style is contrast to Daredevil. Daredevil's doing all these fancy flips, and he's doing all the ninja stuff.
And then here comes Punisher with the big guns, taking
he's just like,
guys
one
out
shot, one kill. Man, that scene in the hallway.
And he justifies it. He tries to justify it too because like he's got this whole moral thing that he even debated with Daredevil on that rooftop, which is probably one of my favorite scenes from the whole season. Oh, that's great. Yeah. That was really good.
I love the way that the actor does a really good job of like every time he talks about his family.
He nails it. Yeah.
Every time he talks about his family, every time he goes into a whole thing about his family, I'm like, I get you, man. I'm with you. I completely see that.
For you.
Right. And that's the contrast to where like you see Daredevil's actions come back at him again. You see him putting away people and not killing, and sometimes you're like, well, if you kill this person, then maybe they would stay down and not actually impact his life. And the Punisher makes sense in the confines of Daredevil. The reason why he's put there is that every time you hear him talk, he kind of makes sense.
That's interesting.
And you're with Daredevil because you're like, oh, superheroes shouldn't kill. But when the Punisher talks about killing, you're like, well, he kind of does have a point. And that's what I feel what makes the Punisher interesting. And that's why I'm not sure that the Punisher only series will be all that great. If I'm being honest, I don't know.
Is that actually going to be a thing? A Punisher
they're
only
talking
series?
about it, and I I feel like the Punisher works because he's in contrast to Daredevil, because he's within this world, and he's like, you know, I mean, him talking with Karen about like how his wife like regularly, you know, just his wife like, you know, like was able to hurt him and do all that stuff because they're so close. He's like, I'd give everything to have her again. I'm like, oh man, you said, oh man. I don't know.
The more I think about it, like at first I was a little hesitant because I do like him as a kind of like a side character, but now we're talking about him now, and I'm thinking about him so much. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'd mind a TV show just about him and whatever stuff he has to go through.
Well, it depends on like how you do it, because like if he is just a contrast in Daredevil, then you'd need like other characters in the Punisher series to like contrast
with him, and that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Like maybe they will do that.
Well, they could. They don't have it in the comics. He doesn't really have that supporting cast there. That does.
Neither does Daredevil, really.
Here's the thing, though. Right? What are the best moments from the Punisher? What are the best acted moments from the Punisher in this season? It's whenever he's
action
talking.
Or in general.
Just no, just you know, like the best acted moments from the Punisher.
Oh, I thought you said action. Sorry.
Yeah. It's whenever he's talking to somebody. Whenever he's talking to somebody that doesn't agree with him.
Yeah.
That doesn't agree with what he's doing. That's when the Punisher really shines. That's when that character really shines. And so, if you have him by himself, if you have him in a situation where he's not talking to anybody, where he's just going around and shooting people,
I mean, I'm pretty sure the show's going to be way more than him just going around shooting people.
That's true. All right, you know what? I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, like, come on.
Show saved Punisher.
It's not like they're doing a movie.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Again. For the third time, so they can flop again.
Man, I it's interesting, too, because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, heroes are actually kind of okay with killing. Captain America kills a bunch of people. You know, and Thor straight up kills a bunch of people. No one really cares. Iron Man does the same thing. He like, you know, shoots all those terrorists. You know, who are like, you know, they have the hostages.
He blows up a tank.
He blows up the tank. And that guy is dead inside that tank.
Yeah,
that guy's dead. You know, Captain America as a soldier, he shoots a bunch of Nazis, which is okay. I guess Nazis aren't really people. But like in Winter Soldier, he shoots a lot of Hydra people as well. He like. So it's interesting that Daredevil is the only real, like, oh, people shouldn't kill person in this thing. And everybody else is like, well, maybe we should.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic in a way because he's also, like, one of the darkest and most angsty characters I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's one of the most violent, but no one dies.
Either, like modern-day teenagers. No, he's actually got his stuff together. He has a reason to be dark.
Yeah, and I also like that they did do the thing where, like, we were talking about this before, Ben. Like how Daredevil has to split his like secret identity life and his real life. You know, that's like a thing that always happens. But every time the people, his friends like Foggy questions him, like, "Hey, why are you not doing this?" You're like, "Yeah, actually, you kind of have responsibilities and you should be taking care of them."
Yeah, like, season 2, I was so annoyed. I was like, "Dude, Matt, go back to your thing. I want to see you in court." Dude,
right, it's like, hey, listen, that's your job. You kind of drag everybody into this.
Ninjas are so annoying. I hate watching those stupid ninjas.
I know, right? Well, don't watch Ninjago. You'll hate it.
All over the place and trying to be all like stealthy and God, I hate them.
Yeah, but I did want him to like.
Are amazing, but still, I
did want him to like go back to the court as opposed to just messing around with Elektra and the ninjas. And it's like, Elektra, just cut it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it goes back to how much I dislike Elektra.
Man, when you go forward with Daredevil and like, we were talking like Spider-Man's whole thing is like, oh, I missed your play, Mary Jane. And Mary Jane's like, I can't trust you anymore. How you said you were going to be here and you only bought me flowers at the very end. It's like, all right, come on, just stop whining. Just he's Spider-Man. Listen, give him some slack. Well, this you're like, oh yeah, no, you have responsibilities. You have to be there at this trial, and you are slacking off, and you're piling everything on somebody else, and that's really not cool. And I felt like every time they called him out, I didn't roll my eyes and I'm like, dude, you know, he's Daredevil. Cut him some slack. I was like, no, you're a terrible person, Matt.
Yeah, he's flawed, which makes for like more interesting and realistic characters.
Way more interesting. He was so much more interesting than everything.
Yeah, because perfect characters are always so boring because they always do everything correctly. And it's
that's why Superman doesn't
work.
That's why
Superman sucks!
Superman doesn't work unless you actually do the thing you should do with Superman, and that is put him in situations where like there's no clear right answer. And now this guy who's always like, oh, I'm going to do the right thing. And now there's a situation where like, oh, there isn't a right thing.
Yeah, like
Crap,
really
what do I
think
do?
about it. Like some of Superman's most interesting moments in comics are when he's getting his butt whooped.
Right. And I feel like they should de-age him. I've always felt like whenever I've done a redesign of the DC Universe, I've always felt that he should be like a lot younger, just because the whole thing of like the thing you identify with a character makes that character relatable, and you don't want to do that without getting the like misrepresenting that character. With Superman, the thing that everyone relates to is that most people want to do the good thing. Like most people aren't like straight up evil. Most people think they're good people. Most people want to do the right thing. And so the way you play off that is making sure you're like putting yourself in situations where everybody's been in, when you're like, I don't know what the right thing is. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I rat out my coworker to my supervisor for doing this? Do I, stand by my coworker for doing, or do I, I stand by my family even though this thing is wrong and they might be doing this wrong? Or there's so many gray areas in the world where that's how you do Superman. That's how you should make him relatable. That's off topic, but yeah, it's, sorry, I had to get that out because I'm so pissed off at how they don't do Superman right.
You poor thing.
All right, you don't have to be like that. All right. Final thoughts about Daredevil. Anybody got something else they want to say?
I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Like I like
What?
it, but I don't love it.
6 out of 10?
Get out of here! Are you
Man.
6 out of 10 does not keep you captivated enough to see season 2.
Well, on my scale, it does.
Oh, good grief.
Like it's okay. I like it,
Yeah,
but
you
I
know
don't
what? Steven
love
Universe gets like a 4 out of 10 on my thing.
Okay.
Then. Just so
Well,
you know.
that's your opinion.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you watched season 2 also, so
Yeah, but well, that's how my scale works.
congrats.
Yeah. Shut up. Shut up. Your score is way higher than that.
Negative Nancy.
Yeah,
Daredevil
seriously.
is...
I hate people like you. You're like, oh, yeah, no, it was so amazing. Yeah, so great. I enjoyed it so much. I couldn't stop watching it. It was, in the end, it was okay.
Except, like, I just had it on in the background while I drew. I wasn't, like, actively paying attention to it.
And yet, here you are.
I know. Talk about irony.
You're full of crap. I'm pretty sure you're giving it like a 9.5 out of 10 in your head right now.
I think she just wants to say something to be like, she's like Takumaing it. She's like, oh, everybody likes this, so I don't want to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody likes
just
it.
like Takuma.
No, I just don't want to overhype people.
Okay.
I don't want people to think I love something when I don't.
No. It's fine to think. No, you know what? Daredevil's a great show, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. That means you can probably really enjoy it too.
There is,
If I like
I can't
it,
think of
then
a live
anyone will
action
like it.
superhero show that's better than Daredevil. I really can't. But people will talk to
No,
Arrow.
Arrow and Flash.
Arrow is nowhere near the level that Daredevil. Arrow wishes it could be Daredevil.
I tried watching The Flash the other day, and it's
Flash
just so childish
is
compared
really
to Daredevil.
cheesy, but it's got like that comic booky feel. It's when they have the alternate universes and Jay Garrick is going around. And you're like, yeah, comics. But it's not anywhere as good as Daredevil. Daredevil is fantastic, and I definitely the one thing I really like about the Punisher. Final thoughts. Daredevil never compromises on his thing about not killing people. The Punisher also never compromises of always kill people. Literally, I kept waiting for that moment where he was like, you know what? I think you're right. He's like, oh, that's the right thing to do. I'm going to walk away. No, that's the where Karen's like,
shoots people in the head.
Karen's like, if you do this, you're dead to me. And he's like, I'm already dead. And he goes and shoots him. I love that. And or like when Daredevil's rescuing him, and like he keeps like trying to kill this guy, and he keeps like trying to bash him with a hammer or shoot him in the face, and he never stops. He just goes straight for the kill. Love that.
Yeah, it's neat and stuff.
Anyhow,
how about that there Kingpin though coming out of nowhere?
Man. That was the best part of that was like a really good surprise.
That was great.
I thought Stick was going to be that guy, honestly, because I thought when he's like, all right, let's round the gang up together. I'm like, is Stick going to recruit Punisher? Because Punisher seems to have like a gift for killing people.
And yet that would have been a neat way to tie it up too. But
yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought like the Punisher would be sent to kill Elektra because and then that's when the battle would happen. It would be Daredevil versus Punisher versus Elektra. I guess that didn't happen, so Sure. But, oh boy, the Kingpin is the best villain in the Marvel universe. I'm gonna say that. I'm really good with
But
that.
the Prpl Man.
Oh, Purple Man's good too, but man, when Daredevil is up against so many things this season, when the Kingpin is like taking him and slamming him against the desk, I'm like, he's gonna die. I'm so scared
That's
of this
the
character.
end of the season right there. The rest of the episodes are just gonna take place at
They're
his
just
morgue.
filler. They're just like put people on his funeral, talking about him. But man, I was legitimately scared for Daredevil when the Kingpin is like, "You gonna," he's like slamming him like a basketball on the desk.
Yeah.
Those are quite the final thoughts you've got there. Taking up like 10 minutes.
Hey,
I
look,
brought it up.
I brought
What?
it up so we could fill up the next 5 minutes,
Yeah, we're gonna go for a full
which
half hour.
we successfully did. No,
All right,
thanks
that's
to
it.
you,
Half hour
Yay.
mark.
Prpl.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, now it's the half-hour mark. Now let's go. Come on, Kai,
We're
let's go watch
done.
more Daredevil.
Yeah, let's watch more
Or,
Daredevil.
no, screw it. Let's go watch Jessica Jones again so we can look at Luke Cage's pecs.
I'm with you, man. I can't wait for Luke Cage's show and his pecs. Coming up next week on TTV Talks about Batman v Superman with whoever watched that movie. So stay
Not
tuned for
me.
that. Not Prpl. This was TTV Talks about Daredevil. You should check us out. Subscribe to our channel. Like us. Go to vesta.com/TTV channel. Get our videos a week early. And that's all the plugs I'm going to do. Thanks for
Also
watching, guys.
t-shirts, because I want to get paid.
Yeah.
This isn't about you, okay? This is about Daredevil.
Yeah, well, your face is about Daredevil.
Right now, it really is. Look at my expression. I'm all about Daredevil. All right, goodbye, guys. I'm Kahi,
I'm Venom.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
and this was TTV Talks.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.